In this section, we will discuss amateur radio licensing. Over 100 years ago, the U.S. Navy requested that Congress establish licensing for radio operators to protect shipping at sea. They also wanted to be able to silence all radios in times of war emergencies. Some of the concerns have changed with the development of better radios, but it was also apparent we needed to increase the number of radio and electronic experts. The FCC also recognizes ham radio operators have developed systems to help with emergency communications in times when almost all others are down. Many hams also experiment with radios to improve technology and systems, and many share this knowledge with others to learn. Radio contact with citizens of other nations is allowed, which helps build international relations. And it is for this reason the FCC has provided for amateur operators to own and operate radios. However, they want to know who you are and that you know how to properly use your equipment. A license is required to transmit, but not to receive. You must pass a test given by volunteer examiners. There is no age limit and there is no distance limit. With a ham radio license, there are a number of radio activities that you can do. You can work with public services at parades and special events. You can help in disasters during fires, floods, and earthquakes. At these times, telephone lines and cell phone sites are often damaged or overloaded. Ham radio is the only reliable communication, and this can be done with simple handheld radios. Another skywarn activity comes about with the National Weather Service. You will require special training, but allows you to report on dangerous and severe weather that is heading toward major population areas. There are a number of other things you can do with that ham radio license. If you camp, you can take a radio with you to summon help or report back on how things are going. You can use radio direction finding. These sometimes can be in the form of games for finding hidden transmitters, or you can track tagged wildlife, or in an emergency you might be looking for downed aircraft, or in some very rare cases you can actually track stolen cars. A specific event for Scouts is Jamboree on the Air, JOTA. It's the third weekend every October when Scouts all over the world talk to each other on ham radio, and it's a fun thing to do. There are 3 radio amateur license classes available to you. The first one is a technician's class. It's considered a starter license. It requires the answering of 35-question test. It gives you all privileges above 30 megahertz in very high frequency and ultra high frequency. Then there's the general class. It's considered a standard license. It also takes a 35-question multiple choice test, but it does add a high frequency long distance radio to you. The extra class is the highest class of license that you can get. It requires answering 50 questions on radio theory. It gives you a few more high frequencies and potentially a short call sign. It does require a lot more work to pass and a little bit more knowledge. You will be asked a little bit about the technician's class license and the difference between the others. It's an entry-level license, and it consists of 35 multiple-choice tests that you must pass. It includes theories, rules, and procedures, full VHF and UHF use. You can communicate around town and use repeaters. You cannot use some of the high-frequency bands which are used for worldwide contacts. This merit badge covers about half of the license text. Books list all possible questions and answers, so it's not a guessing game. Practice tests can be found at QRZ webpage, www.qrz.com. They will give you a series of questions that are allowed on the exam, and from those series of questions, 35 will be picked. So it's quite easy to study for and very easy to obtain. We would like to see you get one if at all possible. All of the licenses require passing an exam. These exams are administered by volunteer examiners for the FCC. Exam sessions and free study are run by local radio clubs. A few are listed on the slide. On the internet, you'll find a lot of good information through ARRL, Amateur Radio Relay League. That's www.arrl.org, and there are several hams that will help you if you simply ask them. It's now time to get out your workbook and answer the questions on page 7, question 9A1 and question 9A2.